Like, I felt exposed. I felt a breeze. Okay. Fail. Yeah. Kind of already sweating bullets here. I somehow got tickets to the Celtics versus Cavs game in Boston, and I love the Cavs. So today we're making this Vogue skirt pattern. Yes, this pretty flowy one right here. In this awesome crazy fabric that I found at Joann's, because I'm in my extra era and this is what we're doing. And we're in our cozy comfies today because it's 10 degrees in Boston today. And the question is this fabric too much for that skirt style? The answer is no. Also, can you tell I'm a huge Cavs fan? So I do really hope that the skirt is long enough. That's always a concern from someone who's almost 5'10". They didn't have any opportunity to lengthen or shorten. They didn't have anything on the pattern to lengthen or shorten. So yeah, we're just winging it here. The pattern calls for facing on the pencil skirt section, and this is what the facings look like. They're the most oddly shaped facings I've ever seen. I think that they're going to be used here. Actually, well, I know that they're going to be used just like right along here, but the problem is like if a Cavs logo is on that seam line, I want it to be like a seamless Cavs logo. I don't want it to be like cut off and then into another logo. I just think the fabric is already busy enough that I don't want a break here. So we're gonna see how it goes. I'm really not explaining this well enough at all. Basically, I don't know how they did this, right? Like the stripes go down, there's no seam line, it just looks like one stripe. It's not like cut off at the facings. I am hoping I am hoping to make this work for me. So that's one of my big concerns and big question marks with this pattern. On the back side of the pattern, in some of the instructions, makes it very clear on the back side, it does make it very clear that the wrong side shows. Okay, right side, wrong side. Right side, wrong side. So I could not have picked, well, I could have picked, but I picked a fabric that has a lot of contrast between the right and wrong sides. How am I gonna fix this? I think I'm just gonna do French seams. Still not sure how the facings are gonna work though. That might be a problem. I'm not sure, we're just gonna figure it out. Like I do my entire life, we just figure it out. We're just gonna have to dive in to find out. Also, this skirt calls for a lining. I'm not planning on doing a lining. Okay. I did talk about this with an associate at Joann's. It's not like I just ran rogue here, but her and I agreed. It's kind of a gut feeling pattern. The pattern calls for like crepe type fabric. And because this is 100% cotton, it just has a really nice drape to it, but just a little more structure. Crepe is like very thin, so we just didn't feel like I needed a lining. So this pattern calls for about 5 yards of fabric for my size, and well, I wish I had a good tip for managing all of this fabric on fabric on fabric, but I don't really have a good tip other than do your best. I feel like my parents dropping me off at school on game day. Just do your best, like before test. Just do your best. Well, I don't know if this has ever happened to me before, but in this case, the pattern pieces are so big that they have to cut them into 2 pieces, and then I cut them out as 2 pieces, and then I have to tape them as 1 piece. So as such, I have 6 and 6A, and I had to tape them together along these circles. We're just getting started, haven't even cut yet. I think it might be fair to say that this is one of the strangest pattern pieces that I have ever seen. Basically takes up the entire length of my counter. All right, so we're just gonna dive right in. I've already done some pre-work to get the darts in. You can see that. Got the darts in front pieces, which front pieces are actually L-shaped. Never seen that before. And I also have darts on both back pieces. So now I'm just going to iron them towards the center. Once the darts are set in iron, I'm just gonna attach the interfacing to the fabric. Alright, both facing pieces donezo. I am now getting ready to put in the zipper. And anytime I reach a point when making a garment, when I get to the zipper, I always feel like as soon as I get done with the zipper, I'm in the clear. Zippers, I just don't love doing zippers. That's one of the hardest things to sew for me. I still feel like I screw them up more than anything else, but as soon as I can get the zipper in, then we're in the clear. And see, well, I did 2 stitches and already screwed something up, so try numero dos. Moment of truth. All right, good enough. I have done worse. I think that looks pretty good. Moving along. Got that piece done. Zipper's on. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna close the zipper. Lay down my other back piece and sew here. This is one of always the hardest part, is getting all of this lined up. Oh, it stresses me out. All right, here we go. Last little piece of zipper I need to get in here, and then we can be on our merry way. I'm kind of already sweating bullets here. And see, this is why I hate zippers. It just sewed into the zipper. I have a tendency to want my invisible zipper to be so invisible that I sew into the zipper teeth. It happens to me all the time. I always have to be redoing it. But I just hate seeing that little piece of zipper right there. It just doesn't look good. All right, did I or did I not sew to the zipper teeth? Yes! Look at that beautiful zipper. Thank you, thank you. Only took me 2 to 3 tries. Next time, we'll get it down to 1.5. I am doing French seams on this sucker, so I have my wrong sides together up until about the tape, the zipper tape. So I'm just gonna sew this together, turn it inside out, and then sew my French seams, just except for this part. All right, I actually think that the back with the zipper, with the French seam, looks actually pretty good. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, it's looking real good. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. All right, it is time. I feel like this is my come to Jesus moment in a little bit. We're dealing with the facings, how it's really gonna work on my skirt. So I've got one front piece laid out here, and I've already prepped my facing. I just ironed this in 1/4 of an inch, and I'm supposed to just lay it on top of here. I'm supposed to just lay it on top of here and have it fit. And why do my ends never fit? All right, I'm just gonna have to work with this here a minute. And I really need the bottoms to match because, well, it's the bottom. All right, that's closer. We're closer, people, we're closer. Thank God. You know, I think I really just had to work with the fabric to make it fit and bring it in a little bit. Sometimes I forget that our bodies just aren't stick figures and we have curve to ourselves, and it just needs a little working with the fabric. All right, I'm gonna sew this. Well, okay, that was easy. We are stitched, we are trimmed, it is attached. I'm just going to iron this open, and then I'm gonna understitch down this line. All right, first thing, I just sewed an understitch on this fabric, and I'm having like my eyes are hurting with this fabric, and 2 pieces where the pattern is not matching up. Like, my eyes are just so tired. Second thing, My bobbin thread finished right on the end. Like, ran out of thread right on the end. Like, how many times does that happen? Like, that has never happened to me. I think I need to go buy a lottery ticket. All right, let's reset. I don't love, like, not having mismatch here with the facings is what I was kind of afraid of. But I don't think it's gonna be a problem because I think we're just gonna tuck this in here. This is difficult. This is difficult. I can't do this with two hands. But essentially this is gonna tuck in like that, and then we're not gonna see the facings. Yes. Okay, so I'm just starting to iron back the facings. Just ironing the facings. I'm turning them to the inside. And I have to say, this is actually laying quite nicely. I'm getting excited. Directions. Turn facings to inside. Check. Press. Check. We're basting this together, and then we're basting this whole long thing together. Which does mean there's gonna be a stitch on the outside, ending 10 centimeters above lower edges. I can do that. I just don't want the baste stitch to see on the outside. I've got my facings pressed and turned to the inside. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a stitch going on the outside. So the question is, what color do I do that in? Do I do that in like a blue? Do I do that in a white? Anyone want to take a guess at which color thread I went with? White. I went with white, and it's there. It is there, but one front side done, on to the next. And second front side done. We are moving right along. I think I'm ready to attach the front and the back together. Okay, directions say to lap left front over right front, matching center. However, I'm doing French seams, so which do I lap over which? I feel like I cannot righty-tighty, lefty-loosey myself out of this situation. How does one do this? Okay, so I had a moment of clarity where I don't have to worry about French seams at this point because I'm just attaching two front pieces together. And then I'll worry about the French seams when I attach both front pieces to the back. So here's what this looks like. I've got my left piece over my right piece, and I'm just going to pin, match up my notches here and over here. And then I'm gonna sew these two pieces together, and then this whole thing is the front. And just like that, I have a front, a full front. I definitely think it's long enough. So I'm gonna attach the front to the back. I have an almost finished skirt. Front and back is attached. It's fitting pretty nicely. What I do is finish these bottom edges, which means more facing. I have to deal with more facing yet again. Here we go. This is the last facing strip for the whole project. So this is pattern pieces number 10, just stitched together at the 3 notches, and I'm going to pin and sew to the skirt. And I'll have you know that I read and read and reread and reread and reread these directions a million times, and I really didn't know if I was gonna be able to understand this picture. It was like not very clear to me. These directions aren't the best, but I figured it out and I'm gonna show you. So I've got my skirt laid out here. You can see the zipper, and these are my front facing pieces. I'm gonna open them up, right? We had this folded over. I'm just gonna open this up on both sides. Take my pattern piece number 10, my facing, and open up this facing, pin both facings together, and do the same thing to the other side. And now finally, so now I'm just gonna sew here and here to attach them. Well, I cannot tell you how relieved I am that I figured this out. So far, this has been the toughest piece for me to understand and visualize and follow the directions, but I have the facings attached, and you can see I just kept folding in 1/4 inch. So I have the back of my skirt again, right? This is the back, the zipper, and I have my front facings turned out, And I'm just going to start pinning seams to seams. Then I'm just gonna sew along here. Well, I don't know if this was me or the pattern, but as I was pinning the facing, I have all of this extra fabric and I'm just gonna take it off. Pinch by pinching right here, and then that's where I'm gonna sew. It lays so much more flat. It's perfect. I'm just gonna cut that off. And we have attached facing to bottom, clipped the corners. Look at that beautiful corner, and understitched. We've got one half of the skirt complete. Let's get a little spin, shall we? We've got finished facings all the way through, little slit right here, onto the pretty drape part. Okay, so this, piece number 8, and I'm supposed to attach 6 and 7 to piece number 8, matching notches. Like, I'm confused. Maybe I'll start by turning this right side. Okay, now if I have this piece, I think I would attach 6 like this. Okay, 1, and then 7, this. I think this is right, because then it would like wrap. So this is the front, and it wraps in the back. I think this is right. All right, so an hour and a half to almost 2 hours later, I have the whole overwrap done. And wow, so in like 2 hours, I attached all 3 pieces and narrow hemmed all the edges. And that took me almost 2 hours, so that was some time. How does it look? I think it looks really flowy. This is flowy. And can you believe like how long it is? Like, this thing is almost touching the floor, and I'm almost 5'10". Like, it's really long. I think we attach and then I'm like done. Like, I'm done. So I'm just standing here pinning the twill tape to the garment. And this is like the third to last step for me. And every time I get close to finishing a garment, I really just relish in the thought of wearing it. Like, I'm gonna wear something that I made, and that I, not only that I made, but like created in my mind. Like, yes, someone else created the pattern, someone else created the fabric, but I'm the one who put the two of them together to create a look. And I just love being able to wear that stuff out and about, and it makes me feel like me. You're in the home stretch here, and I'm just taking in all the hard work that went into making this, and how really, really good it's gonna look when it's all done. Even if I messed up a few seams or had to redo something, it's still my creation. It's my execution from my thoughts into physical reality that is, I don't know, so special, and partly why I do this. All right, so I've got the twill tape taped around the waist, and what was tripping me up with these directions, usually you put right sides together when you're sewing something like a jumpsuit or a dress with a bodice and a skirt. And I don't know if you can see here, but it's wrong side to right side, which I didn't really understand, but I think I understand. I think we're just gonna take this, sew along here, sew along the bottom of this tape, and then just kind of flip it to the inside. So we're almost done. All right, so twill tape sewn on. Twill tape sewn on. I'm gonna cut off this extra like seam allowance, and then I'm supposed to fold back this. I will also like cut some of that off, but fold back that and then pin it down. Yeah, what I thought was gonna be an easy, oh, just sew this twill tape on. Not so easy and not so fast. So now I am turning the twill tape to the wrong side. This is the right side, wrong side is the zipper. And this is not easy because it's in a circular motion, but it's also not going to be the easiest sewing in the sewing machine with this much fabric and having to go through, because you can't sew down the twill tape to this is the overskirt. You don't want the twill tape to be sewn to the overskirt when you fold it over to the inside. Hi! It's all done! What do we think? Okay, I have actually already worn the skirt. I already wore it to the Cavs game, and here's a few observations. First observation, this slit in the pencil skirt underneath is actually like a little high when you're sitting down. Like, I felt exposed. I kept like putting this wrap part over my legs when I was sitting down. Also, when walking, like, this is just open. Like, it's, woof, like, if this ever like caught a draft or something, like, it would be going up. And as I was walking, I just kept like, I'll just say I felt a breeze high up my legs. Not a huge fan of the back. If you're using a printed fabric, just be careful of how this is gonna look in the back, because obviously I did not line up the pattern. Like, Cavs is not lined up going across. If you want to see me wear it, you're just gonna have to head over to my Instagram or my YouTube shorts